Well, this is the class, the movie in English. Movies kind cinematographic. No white dice used. It is possible to distinguish cinematographic kinds with base in diverse criteria for this style, for his hearing, for his format, or for his setting. Now let's start with defending the most watched and most beloved cinematic type of this era, that is the general theme of a movie that served for its classification. Kinds for style or tone. Action. In general, they include high doses of adrenaline and energy, with many physical acrobatics and pursuit, possibly with rescue, barrels, fight, escape, destructive crisis. Adventure. They are in the habit of being interesting histories with new experience or exotic place, often very similar to the movies of action. Catastrophe, science fiction, it used speculative representation based on the science of unimaginary as extraterrestrial phenomena, foreign planets, and trips in the time, often together with technology elements like futurist spaceships, robots, and other technology. Comedy. They are happy and deliberately designed to entertain and to provoke the laugh with a line of dialogue and jokes, exaggerating the situation, the language, the action, the relations, and the prominent figures. Documentaries, drama. They center principally of the development of a conflict between the protagonist or the protagonist with this environment or with it itself. Fantasy. They are in the habit of including magic, world of exotic fantasy or facts, prominent figures or absolutely unreal creatures that no way belong to the really know above our world, in contrast with the cinema of science fiction or the cinema of terror, which have or can have a realistic or scientific base. Musical suspense. It is basically a story of intrigue that is characterized for having rapid paced action, ingenious heroes, and powerful and influential villains. Terror. It is characterized by his will to provoke in the spectator sensation of fear, displeasure, repugnance, horror, inconvenience, or worry. Pornography. Kinds for hearing: infantile, juvenile, adults, relatives. Kind for format: encourage, royal image, mood cinema, sonorous cinema, cinema 2D. It is the cinema project in two dimensions, width and height. It is the traditional form in which we see the cinema, both in rooms of exhibition and in television. Cinema 3D. It is the cinema project in three dimensions, width, height, and bottom. There has become popular very much also the creation of animated movies that they use 3D as technology. Cinema IMAX. It is a projection cinema of cinema created by IMAX Corporation that has the aptitude to project representation of major size and definition that the conventional system of projection. Kinds for setting: warlike, contemporary, crime, sports, gangster, historical, police, western, religious, epics, and futurist. The futurist is characterized by the setting in a future epoch, with facts and fictitious prominent figures who can be credible or improbable. Other cinematographic subkinds: cinema art, or auteur cinema, independent cinema, cinema of worship, alternative cinema, cinema of samurais, cinema author of novels of manners, experimental cinema, cinema of martial arts, cinema of encourages, your cinema or splatter, cinema slasher, political cinema, propaganda cinema, surrealistic cinema, cinema class B, cinema class S, melodrama, cinema snuff, cinema spoof, zombie cinema. It is a subkind of cinema of horror, often fitted inside the class B, but that possesses a wide representation of movies along the history. Cinema giallo, spaghetti western, black cinema. This is the class of the movies and presentation, the culture English.